Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. And the car industry in Europe is about to die on its arse. When you get the likes of Mercedes, VW, and Audi in Germany screaming at the government, begging them to change the law, you know something is horrendously wrong. When Ford are actually going to limit the amount of cars they import into Europe, you know something is horrendously wrong. And when the likes of Seat and Fiat are looking at cutting production, you know something is wrong. What is it? Is it people not wanting cars anymore? Is it people have stopped buying cars? No. It's a little law that not many people will be aware of, or at least not aware of the full significance. It's called the ZEV, which stands for Zero Emission Vehicles. Between now and 2035, all across Europe, car manufacturers have to sell a percentage each year, and it rises each year, of electric cars as opposed to internal combustion engine cars. Now, from when this started to when it is now, they should be selling 22% of all cars being sold must be electric. At the moment, it's 16%. Here's the thing. If you sell, let's say it's 1 in 5 cars, so you can sell an electric vehicle, woohoo. It means you can now sell 4 internal combustion cars. If you sell a 5th car without selling another electric vehicle, you get fined £15,000 for every car that isn't an electric car over that percentage. And that percentage rises every year. Car makers are now crying because they are literally only making these electric cars and saying, you've got to buy these cars. Well, I don't want an electric car. I want an internal combustion engine car, but you can't have one. Then I'll go down to the road, to the other guy and buy one off him. And he says, no, we can't sell you one. We can't sell you one. That's fine. I'll go to a dealer and buy a second-hand car. And this, of course, is why second-hand car prices are rising. Everyone wants second-hand cars because dealers don't want to sell you normal cars. They're desperate to sell you electric cars. And you have to ask, why is nobody buying electric cars? Well, 1, they're incredibly bad for the environment. 2, range anxiety. 3, they're not tested. They're not a long-tested product. 4, the drop-off in value is horrendous. And 5, if anything goes wrong with those batteries, you're screwed. That's just the first 5 off the top of my head. There's probably more. And so people don't want them. Sure, some people are buying them because, whatever, but they're horrendously expensive. Who's got that kind of money? When you're paying 20%, 30% on top for an electric as opposed to an internal combustion, why would you do it? Also, my car, I can fill my tank. I can get 1,000 miles out of my tank. Couldn't do that on an electric vehicle. And then I don't have to keep stopping for half an hour, 40 minutes, 2 hours to charge it, assuming you can find a charging point, and assuming if you can find one, there aren't 2 cars ahead of you waiting to get on. And so you've got this stupid law. Now, all across, like I say, all the big major car manufacturers are screaming at their respective governments, saying, whatever you do, get rid of this law. It's going to end. Can you imagine BMW saying to the German government, we're going to close and we're going to fire 30,000 people. And Mercedes going, oh, thank God, we're going to do that as well. We're going to fire 20,000 people. And Stuttgart would be like third world kind of thing. The German government would, well, after they've cleaned the mess in their trousers, because they would shit 3 different colours of shit, they would then be back in and going, right, let's pull out the EU. It's the only way. We've got to pull out the EU. Because it's just such a big industry for Germany. And Italy. Fiat is massive. When you look at all the things Fiat owns, it's massive. They don't want to lose that. Toyota, big companies that make in Europe, they'd be gone. They'd all go. They can't help themselves. They can't sell electric cars, and they can't afford to sell you a gas car because of the £15,000 fine they'd get on selling it. I mean, this is literally it. They could sell a £12,000 car, brand new, £12,000, and have a £15,000 fine added to it. This is this stupid law. It is the world's most ambitious law, is how the EU described it. And it's what the car manufacturers describe as the world's worst law. It is a suicidal law. You can't say that's a word YouTube doesn't like, but you know what I mean. It's a self-ending law because it will destroy the entire market in Europe. Car manufacturers will go to the wall. Meanwhile, China has got over 2 million electric vehicles sitting there unsold, looking to dump them into Europe for maybe £5,000 each, simply to get rid of them. No one in Europe can compete with that. It will be the final end of all car manufacturing in Europe, and it will be done by zealots in the EU who don't understand anything about business, about anything. But they'll be sitting there, oh, look at us, look, we've made the world a good and better place. Why is China building 43 new coal-fired power stations? Because China's got to sell all our cars now. China's got all those car factories making cars that we used to make. The only trouble is now nobody's got a job and nobody can afford to buy them. Boom. I don't know why anyone in Europe who makes cars is a member of the EU. I don't know why anyone in Europe is a member of the EU. I mean, it's unbelievably dim. But this is what's going to happen. So if you work in the car industry, you know, if you're Toyota or up in, what's the one in Sunderland? Nissan? You know, you need to start worrying about your job. All those Germans who work there, start worrying about your job. Yeah, what's the Cowley one? Minis, I make the Minis. Get worrying about your job. There won't be any. There'll be no car making in Europe. Learn to speak learn to speak Chinese. Learn a bit of Mandarin if you want to work in the car industry, because that's going to be the only place that anyone is making cars in years to come. Anyway, let's hope something changes. Let's hope the German car manufacturers get together and overturn this, because it's absolute bonkers. Till next time, stay safe, stay well. Let me know what you think in the comments. Stay safe, stay well. I will speak to you later, and I'll just go off and whirl my head at how stupid these people are. Thanks a lot. Bye.